Hello everyone, I'm DW and welcome back to Orcs Must Die. Today we are taking on the Squeeze, which is one of my favorite levels and probably the second hardest level in the game after Finale, which is the last level. This one really should have been the second to last level. The next level after this is not that difficult, and the Squeeze can be pretty brutal if you don't know what you're doing, and yeah, you'll see in a bit. You also might notice that I got a pretty decent high score on this. And it's not my best, but... So I'm going to try to beat it. Spoilers, I don't actually beat it. But, you know, the strategy that I use, you get a lot of combos, and combos mean points. So let's begin. We also get the best item in the game. Unfortunately, we're not really going to be able to use it much in this playthrough, because it's not very good in the next two levels. But the grinder is ridiculous. It can just rip through enemies' health. It's almost as good as the swinging mace, but not quite. There's a lot of strategy that I'm going to be doing in the alternate videos, where we're going to use the grinders very effectively. In this video, we are going to use them very well, and the grinder is my favorite wall trap, so I love the grinder. Grinder, I love you. I'm touching the screen like I'm touching the grinder. Anyway, why don't we begin? Yes? No?
Okay, big area to cover,
there we go.
Lots of doors, lots of avenues of approach. Good times, good times.
Fortunately, we don't get any sort of banter between the War Mage and the Sorceress, but as he said, there's a lot of avenues to approach, and by a lot, he means two. Well, you know, War Mage isn't very clever, so counting to two is very difficult for him. So, we have these two teleporters. Go through this one, we go to the bottom path. This is the easy lane, if you want to call them lanes, whatever. We have this really obvious kill box, we have a nice rolling log, which we absolutely will be using. We have another area where we could set up a secondary kill box, which we won't be doing, but then we have another rolling log. So if we go through the green portal, this is the top lane. You see here, we can't set up the same type of kill box, because we have no bar. We have a door there. See, we have no area to set ceiling traps, which is unfortunate. We also have an area where flyers are going to be coming from. We have a rolling log and another rolling log. We could set a kill box over here, but I find that that's not very efficient because you waste a lot of time and large enemies will get through.
Nice.
So, let's open our weavers. Of course, we're going to go with the Steel Weaver. We're just going to buy the Death Augmentator right off the bat. Now, in terms of enemies, we have no new enemies. We just have these same ones that we've all encountered. We have the Shaman and the Ogre and the Armored Ogres. They can be a pain together, and they're going to be. But the big worry is mainly just regular Orcs and Kobolds. Flyers are going to be a problem, but we have a way to deal with flyers. So, we're going to bring our Ice Amulet, our Ring of Lightning, our Brimstone, Tar, our Grinders, of course, our Archers, Barricades, Swinging Mace, and Shock Zappers. Pretty standard. I could instead bring Arrow Walls to deal with the Flyers. The Shock Zappers are only going to be to deal with the Flyers. But I find the Shock Zappers work a little bit better. So where can we place Shock Zappers? You can actually place them right up there, which is something that I never noticed. And that area does glitch out a bit, which is going to bite me in the ass later in the video. So we're going to start off by laying down a couple of barricades there. Or here, rather. Why here instead of there? Well, you see this pillar? This pillar, you can't place wall traps on it, and it's no good. So, put down some tar, and we're going to place our grinder. And we're basically going to make a very traditional tower defense style, like, S-path through here, and just lay all the walls with grinders. And it will pretty much destroy everything. It's not as efficient as a swinging mace, but it will work great. We're also going to place down, of course, a couple of archers. We want to set them a little further back so that they deal with air. With our last 1700, we are just going to place a swinging mace down here. Just so I know that it's there. so I don't actually accidentally spend the money on something else. So let's begin. These first two waves aren't so bad. It's the third wave that we have to worry about. So as you know, we're starting off pretty standard, laying down you know, a lightning cloud and using ice to take out the flyers. You can see the grinder is jammed now, but as it will unjam, it will basically just eat through enemies' health as quickly, very quickly. Faster than Brimstone, faster than the swinging mace. Well, maybe not quite as fast as the swinging mace, but they deal damage slightly differently. Like, I want to say the grinder actually has a higher DPS.
This will be good.
So now they're coming out of the bottom. We're going to set up some tar and some brimstone. I'm going to try and keep that checkerboard pattern. It works really great down here. I was going to place some archers on that bridge, but instead I decided to place them here. This way they'll actually like shoot right down the lane, and it's amazing. We'll get some up top there eventually. Got a nice ×5. So yeah, these first two waves are no problem. Especially when you miss like that. Now here's what we have to worry about. So we're going to get down. We're basically going to really beef out this bottom kill box first. Eventually, we're not going to have to worry about this bottom kill box at all. So we have runners coming through first. So I'm just, see the grinder just takes care of the runners, no problem. So a couple of them got through down here because swinging mace is not really great against runners. And now we have to be very sure that we hit these rolling logs. If we don't hit these rolling logs, there's no way that we can do this wave without guys getting down by the rift. And I actually do this better than I have ever done before, and you can see I actually got an achievement. There is a guy alive down here, but swinging mace will take care of him, and that is amazing. Usually that wave goes terribly, and I have to use both rolling logs, and it's no good. So we are going to buy the oiled trap gears so that our traps reset faster. So of course really help out our swinging mace and our grinder. I don't recommend drinking every time I say swinging mace because I've been saying it a lot this video for whatever reason. Let's get down another archer. And we have some breathing room, so I'm taking my time debating what I want to do. We really don't have enough traps set up here, so I'm going to set down some more barricades. Unfortunately, we don't quite have enough for another grinder. Another little quirk about the grinders is you might notice their sound keeps going even when they're not actually spinning. And right here, it gave me some... I've never had this problem before placing shock zappers, but for some reason it just won't let me place it there. Yeah. Eventually, I just move on and be like, alright, fine, I'll go place down some archers instead. We'll get a shock zapper there. It's not super important, but it was very frustrating. Now we're going to have to deal with a ton of flyers, and that shock zapper really would have helped, but we got a really lucky ice amulet there and took out, I think, 4 of them. Now, since we were beefing out the bottom kill box so much, these guys are leaking a bit. It's okay, we can deal with them. It's only a real bad leak if they get to the stairs. So yeah, I kind of get obsessive about that shock zapper when I really should just have been worried about placing these guys. You know, as always, this is not my best run of this level, but always happens when recording. Get a little too obsessed about trying to show off nifty things instead of just playing the level well. Ah, there we go. There's some weird finesse about that. So now, we only have to worry about flyers and guys coming down from the bottom here, so... I decided to run up here and set up a couple of archers. I probably should have set them further back on the bridge, but they'll help regardless. Like, archers there will cover both sides fairly well, where archers on the back will only cover the back. Now, if you look at the mini-map, you can see 2 flyers that are coming through. Unfortunately, 2 of them got through, but fortunately, we can just headshot them fairly easily. There we go. Get a little indecisive because I forget where the wave's coming from next. But no, we definitely have to put a lot more traps out here. I should probably have laid down some brimstone in this area, especially since we have an armored ogre and 2 hobgoblin shaman. Now, I try and kite them around to freeze them, and that was a bad idea. I should not have been doing this. I should have froze him in front of the first grinder. And this is why, because these other orcs are getting through, and they can just run. Ogres can just run. So like if I had played that better, he wouldn't have gotten past the first grinder. But oops. You'll also notice that the shock sappers are up too high to deal with any ground-based enemies, and that's actually good because eventually there's going to be so much air coming through that one area. And the shock zappers will rip right through it. Yes! I have a fire ogre down here, but whatever, that's no problem. You've got so much money, I'm just going to lay down a couple of grinders here. I probably should have moved them back a little bit, but it's fine. We're also going to upgrade our guardians. And I'm like, well, maybe I get more tar. Yeah. Gonna run up here and place down a couple of archers, and then I'm going to sell those 2 that I just placed because we need more grinders. We won't have enough for a grinder and a tar, but that's okay. Now that we're past wave 3. We're okay. We're not really going to have any more problems unless we really mess up. But look at all that air. Like, that is a ton of air coming out. But fortunately, you can see, with all those archers and the shock zappers, there's no problem. Going to get down some brimstone there to help deal with runners primarily, but we already got past the runners. Check how the bomb is doing, and the bomb is totally self-sufficient. We only will ever really need to check the bottom again at the last wave when spoilers, I end up getting a little too cocky and, well, you'll see. Place down archers there, again, primarily to deal with air, but also enemies won't really path up there unless they're ogre. Like, even ogres don't really path up there. So, placing archers there is a pretty safe bet. We're going to get another barricade down, and then another grinder, and some more tar. There might be a more efficient way of laying this pattern out, but oh well, doesn't matter. It works well enough. Annoying thing about those archers there is that they'll kind of block you when you're running through. And you can see how how super annoying these hobgoblin shaman can be. So I'm going to set down a couple of archers a little closer to deal with them. Especially when they are chain resing each other. So now we're going to put down another barricade. Get our second to last grinder. And yeah, this kill box is pretty good. Like, the only thing that's really going to get through there is ogres, especially ogres with resing guys following them. I'm going to recharge my health at the rift a bit. Jump down here just to see if anything's getting through, and nah, we're fine. But lay down some lightning, because why not? did a great job missing both times. That was totally planned.
How it's done.
Might as well put down some more archers.
Come back when you're ready.
So much money. Jagged Steel is actually really good on the grinders. It'll give them a bleeding effect, which is just like damage over time.
Sometimes I almost feel bad for the orcs.
So use some
Not
more
really.
tar.
Last thing
Got enough
you'll
money.
ever
We'll
see.
place down a ton more brimstone and another grinder. And then why don't we get one more grinder down?
Step right this way, Mr. Orc.
Yeah, this kill box is pretty much exactly how we want it. Probably should have gotten more brimstone in there, but we'll be fine. Here I was thinking about trying to expand it a bit. I don't know why. We do have a fire ogre coming through here, but you know how to deal with fire ogres, especially lone ones. Just freeze them, and he's gone. We don't have any big guys coming through here, and this is new. I never knew that you could stand on top of archers. You can only do that in this game. You can't do it in the second one because they actually will walk around like the Paladin Guardians. But yeah, once I discovered this, I kind of became fascinated by it and just could not resist running across the top of archers' heads constantly. So grinders are not like wall blades. They don't reach out like a pile and a half. So having grinders in a 3-lane hallway like this is not super efficient, but it'll get pretty much everything. Like nothing is going to get through here at all, or so I think. For some reason I decided might as well run up here and lay down some more brimstone. That's totally unnecessary, but could have spent that money on more archers. Here I'm just trying to stay on top of their heads, because why not? Now do I run down? No, I don't. No, I'm actually still just obsessed about trying to step on these guys' heads. I am certainly a very easily amused person.
I love this job.
I should have been chucking lightning down there so that I could get better combos, but oh well. So we're at the last wave. Going to lay down more shock zappers. And you know what? We're going to get down a whole bunch more archers. We only have like 20, so we could probably use a few more. Don't have enough money.
In your face.
And I really should be, shooting into the horde to get better combos, but instead I became obsessed with laying down more archers. Also should have ran down to check the bottom lane, but oops.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Now we have a single armored ogre coming in. We can deal with a single armored ogre. That's no problem. He doesn't have any hobgoblin shaman with him, so we don't have to worry about him being revived. We don't even have to give him. Oh look, we have a fire ogre coming in as well. Oh, where are those purple circles? Oh, those are shaman. Oh, they just revived the armored ogre. Oh. So yeah, that's why shaman are pain. And what's kind of annoying is that they're very difficult to headshot, especially when they continue to chain resin. And you say like, an archer's down? Where could an archer be down? Oh. Oh. Oops. We had the same group of guys coming through the bottom. Fortunately, the hobgoblin shaman are dead, but these guys have almost no damage to them. Since they were both revived, probably. Take care of the Fire Ogre, no problem. And this guy, look, he has that magic pixel. And I almost... Fortunately, he didn't kill me. And we got a victory. So that's all that matters. How did we do score-wise, though? We got our 5 skulls. That's pretty good. It's not my best. Not really even close to my best. You see, could have probably done a lot better on the par time, but yeah, still nowhere near my best. Anyway, I've been DW. Thank you for watching.